Hi fellers, this is B.Jr. from B.Jr.'s Movie Cave. Bear with my voice today, it's trying to escape me a little bit, and that's why I'm not on camera today. I'm feeling a bit better, but I've got kind of a midsummer bug here, and I was kind of, you know what you do when you get sick, you try to do something to fill your time and your mind, just make sure you don't go crazy. So I thought I would do another in the series of signed or autographed DVDs that I have in my collection I've been finding here and there. And also I've gotten a couple more back in the mail here lately. And I'll discuss those as we go. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 DVDs to show you today. So I'm going to dive right in. This is part 4, I believe, the final chapter. But we all know for those final chapters, there's always a new beginning around the corner. So if my voice holds out, we'll have a good time. Let's try this. First we have Day of the Dead, George Romero's Day of the Dead. You know I'm a big Day of the Dead fan. Recently got an autograph back from Bub from Broadway. This one I found the other day. It's in the 2-disc DiviMax one. I forgot I even had it. It's the chapter stops, but on the back of the chapter stops, this one I got through the mail way back. This is back when I was really doing those a lot. Back in the day. This is from Miss Laurie Cardille, who played Sarah in the original Day of the Dead classic zombie movie. Anyway, I found that one the other day. I thought I'd throw it in with this update. I thought that was pretty cool. Just put that away, keep it nice and neat there. I always loved that edition of Day of the Dead as well. There's a blast from the past. This shows you, this is one of my first DVDs I ever bought. I bought this in like 1999. When they first started hitting the mainstream. You can tell it's got that big old widescreen logo. I think this was old Republic Pictures DVD. I think they're bust now. I think they got bought up by some other company. I can't remember the name. But one of the first ones I ever bought, and recently I got this one back in the mail, air mail from France. You're probably thinking, where's the autograph? Where's the autograph? There's nothing on the cover. But usually if I'm chancing one overseas or through the mail, I'll send the insert. Boom, check that out. To Barry, all the best, Christopher Lambert, the Highlander himself, right there. And that's what I usually do. I'll send, if they have like a chapter stop or a small booklet on the inside, I don't mind losing that so much. I just don't want to lose my cover if it gets lost in the mail or something. So I usually try to do that as opposed to sending the cover if I can, or if it's not from a tried and true source. Anyway, there's the autograph from Christopher Lambert, the Highlander. Let's put that one aside. Here's a good one. Now, you know, guys, I love the first Jaws movie. It's a classic. Hands down, it's a classic. Second one's basically a redo of the first with lesser cast. And the third one is just a big mess, 3D movie. But the fourth one, Jaws Revenge, has a returning character of the mother, and it's so bad it's good, or it's good in that bad way. I've always thought that anyway, and a lot of people feel that way. A lot of us horror buffs feel the same way about Part 4 for some odd reason. A lot of people like Part 4 better than the other sequels, so for its bad in that good way quality. Lance Guest, the fellow that played the last Starfighter in Nick Castle's film, also showed up in Halloween 2, the original Halloween 2 that is. He also starred in Jaws the Revenge with Mario Van Peebles and Michael Caine. That's right. So I sent him the insert to his show on Broadway recently. He wrote this one back. Wrote a little mini paragraph here. It says, hey Barry, you got us on closing night in New York. Thanks for the letter, man. Good luck. Lance Guest, Michael. There again, I'm really shocked to even sign this one because I'm guessing this one's probably not a highlight in any one of them's career or anything, but that's just one of my favorite guilty pleasures from the 80s. I actually saw that in the theater with my mother. My mom was cool. She'd take me to a lot of these films, and she still is cool. I'm not saying she's not anymore, but she's a very cool lady. She took me to a lot of these movies back in the day, and I'm just glad I got to see a lot of them in the theaters. Lance Guest, I thought that was a cool one to put in a little update for today. Here's one I've had for a while too, but I've forgotten about. This is William Friedkin's To Live and Die in L.A. crime drama from the mid-'80s. Starring Willem Dafoe, William Peterson from CSI fame, John Turturro, Dean Stockwell, a whole lot of people of that era. I've had this one for a while. He didn't write anything really fun or different or personalized it really, but it's meat and potatoes, good autograph, legit. On the insert here, I have the autograph from Mr. William Peterson. I believe I wrote him some time ago at a venue when he was filming CSI, I think, and he signed this for me and sent it back in the mail. This is just the chapter stops from scene selections from the film. William Peterson, that's just an interesting one. I'd love to add more to that one day. My ultimate goal is to get a Willem Dafoe autograph either on this or Streets of Fire one day. Willem Dafoe is one of those kind of chameleon actors that he's always working on something, so it's hard to catch up with him. To Live and Die in L.A. Here's another good one. I'm an Ultimo fan of Big Trouble in Little China. If you've seen my other videos, you know I got a big one sheet on the wall signed by John Carpenter. Got to meet James Hong recently at a convention. I didn't get his autograph, I just ran out of money, but I did get some time ago. This is my old 2-discer Big Trouble in Little China DVD, the big thick one that's out of print now, or at least this version of it, the thick box one. Blu-ray is killer of this, by the way, on a side note. Pick up the Blu-ray if you're going to buy it. I've kept this DVD around because it's got an interesting little autograph on the insert from Mr. Al Leong. You're probably asking yourself, who in the world is Al Leong? Al Leong's the Asian American fellow who basically shows up in a ton of John Carpenter films, or is a stunt coordinator behind those films, or I said that wrong. He showed up in Big Trouble in Little China, John Carpenter film, but he shows up in a ton of 80s action films like Die Hard. I remember he was in Death Warrant with Jean-Claude Van Damme in a fight scene. He's more or less a stunt coordinator now. He does a lot of behind-the-scenes stunt coordination and stunt work. But he's like part-time actor, part-time stunt man, but all-around great entertainer. And he signed that for me some time ago. And there's another one I threw in the collection and forgot about. But for your viewing pleasure today, during part 4 of the final chapter, you can enjoy it. There it is, Al Leong. He's the guy, if you'll look at Big Trouble in Little China, the big standoff fight scene where Kurt Russell and his sidekick guy are sitting in the truck together and they're watching this big battle, the first big battle in the movie. He's the Asian American man who has the meat cleaver, and he kind of looks around at all his soldiers in red and has the red sashes, and he just screams into the camera real big and everybody runs around him. That's Al Leong at his best right there. And speaking of John Carpenter stuff, this is John Carpenter's cigarette burns. I got this one recently through the mail. This is through the mailer I got from Mr. Norman Reedus. A lot of people know Norman Reedus from Boondock Saints, of course, and the ongoing series The Walking Dead. The first thing that I remember seeing Norman Reedus in was the Cigarette Burns mini-movie from the Masters of Horror series. He is in Atlanta, Georgia right now filming Season 3 of Walking Dead. He just did a quickie for me to bury Norman Reedus right there. This is not a genuine, this is a preprint for like they do for all the Masters of Horror covers, in case you don't know. That's not a genuine John Carpenter autograph. Although it would be cool to have a John Carpenter autograph on this. I've got plenty. I don't want to seem greedy and keep sending John stuff in the mail, or, I got a couple things from him at a convention already too, so I've got my John Carpenter feel, of course, but Norman Reedus, a good one to add to the collection. A lot of people are thinking, man, why didn't you send him some Walking Dead stuff? Well, I hope to meet him at a convention someday soon and get him just to sign a Walking Dead poster. That's when I'd want to meet him in person or something. But for my collection, I usually try to get movies that DVDs signed, basically. First appearances are the ones that I know the person from the most, or that I enjoy watching the most, or something like that. That's just kind of one of the deals where I was like, who is that guy? I know him from somewhere. I was watching Walking Dead, and I was like, dude, he was in Cigarette Burns. I gotta send him that one. So anyway, I'm totally fanboying out there. Hellraiser, Clive Barker's original classic. Clive Barker's going to be at an upcoming convention in Kentucky, the Scarefest coming up, that I hope to attend. Recently I met Doug Bradley at another convention and got my Hellraiser DVD signed. He of course does the same thing on just about everybody's stuff. Put Barry, see you in hell, Doug Bradley, and his little symbol there. I think it's a P, I'm not real sure what that is. But he signs it all with that little thingy and line. There it is for all your viewing pleasure. I hope to get maybe Clive Barker to sign right here, somewhere around the music box there, and I don't know, I thought that looked pretty cool where he can sign maybe on the back or the insert. I think there's an insert in this one. Let's take a look while we're at it. Yeah, I could get him to sign there too, something like that. Anyway, get the Blu-ray of Hellraiser. It's a definite improvement over DVD. It's not one of the best Blu-rays I've ever seen in my life, but it's definitely a good one. Be sure you get the Anchor Bay Blu-ray because they've done some re-releases of Hellraiser movies from another company that didn't really have quite the quality, I didn't think. Anyway, Doug Bradley, Pinhead. I'm getting some good ones there. Getting my main villains of the 80s completed. I got Pinhead so far. Of course, Gunnar Hansen for Leatherface. I got Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund. And I got a couple of Jason autographs so far. So it's coming along pretty good on that side of it. Platoon. Probably one of these autographs that's closest to my heart. And it's not even really a major celebrity, but just a very important person and a very important movie to me, because I remember seeing, when I saw Platoon, it's one of those that just sticks with you, kind of like Full Metal Jacket. Myself being a military veteran as well, it just, maybe I'm a little biased by that, but it just hits home a little bit better. I wrote Mr. Dale Dye, who's a retired, I think, Marine Corps captain, who basically is in Hollywood nowadays, and he has been since about the 80s. Does a ton of, so shows up in small roles in Oliver Stone's movies as well, and also a lot of these military movies like Saving Private Ryan. He'll show up in a supporting role. Just IMDb his resume. He's just got an impressive resume, but he's mostly a military consultant, military coordinator, stunt coordinator for the movies. He does basic miniature boot camps for the actors. Helps them all. You'll know his face whenever you see him because he's just one of those guys that shows up in a lot of military-based films like Under Siege. He played a supporting role in that movie, and I think both Under Siege movies with Steven Seagal, that kind of thing. Anyway, this is, like I say, to Barry West, U.S. Air Force, many thanks. I served in the Air Force. To Barry West, U.S. Air Force, many thanks, Dale Dye. I just thought that was pretty cool. And what was also pretty cool, when I wrote Dale, or Captain Dye, I should say, he sent 2 bookmarks, I believe, from his 2 books that have been out or coming out. And he signed both bookmarks as well. I threw them in the DVD here because I thought that's a pretty cool place to keep them. Anyway, just one that really kind of hits home, close to my heart, is the Dale Dye autograph. I'll cherish that one always, because that just, I don't know, being a military veteran, it just makes it all the more special, I guess. I don't know. Enough of that. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed part 4 of the final chapter today. Just keep in mind, with all final chapters, like in the Friday the 13th series, there might be a new beginning someday soon. So don't lose heart. Keep the faith. Keep on rocking, guys. And I'll catch you next time. Rock on. Bye.